Picture Paris's boulevards, once packed with cars. Now imagine them almost quiet, full of people on bikes. That change has saved thousands of lives. Makes you wonder, could your city pull off something like that?
It's Monday, May 13th, 2025. We're looking at Paris and its cycling revolution, how it's not just about getting around, but also changing the air that people breathe.
Let's dig into some numbers. Since 2005, Paris has cut fine particulate matter, PM2.5, by 55%. Nitrogen dioxide? Down by half. In practice, that means a third fewer premature deaths linked to air pollution. That's a real shift.
That's a serious improvement. But how did they actually make that happen? Changing the way a whole city moves is tough. Wasn't there a lot of pushback from drivers or even businesses?
Yeah, there was pushback. At first, especially. The city, especially under Mayor Anne Hidalgo, tried to make it clear. This wasn't just about cyclists. It was about everyone's health. They ran pilot projects, like making Rue de Rivoli car-free, and people saw the results. Cleaner air, more folks outside. That visible change really mattered.
So, showing people worked. But how did they actually get buy-in? Was it all just decisions from the top? Or did people get to weigh in?
Residents were involved the whole way. The city held public consultations. People could actually help decide where bike lanes would go. There was participatory budgeting too, and even financial help, like subsidies for buying or fixing bikes. All of that made it easier for people to start cycling.
And changing the conversation must have been important, right? Like moving from people saying, this is annoying, to actually seeing that this makes life better. Did that shift happen quickly?
It took time, but the city ran communication campaigns, not just about cleaner air, but about safety and real success stories. Over time, skepticism turned into pride. Paris became a kind of example for other places.
What about businesses, though? There's always that worry. Close streets to cars and shops suffer. Did that actually happen?
That concern was real, especially early on. But studies now show that areas made for walking or biking actually see more people passing by. Shops and cafes in those zones often do better. Some have higher sales. Plus, property values are up with cleaner air and less noise.
But not every business can just adapt, right? What about places that need to get deliveries in and out?
The city worked on that with special loading zones and flexible delivery hours. It's not perfect, but most businesses have found ways to adjust. Big picture, the outcome's positive. Neighborhoods are more lively and local shops benefit.
So could other cities actually do this? Or is Paris just a special case?
Every city is different, but there are lessons. Quick, temporary bike lanes can show early benefits. Linking bike networks with public transport is key for safety. And things like subsidies or bike-sharing programs help break down barriers.
And what about places with rough weather or where people just don't bike much?
If you make cycling safe and convenient, people start to use it, even in cities with tough weather or no cycling tradition. Visible pilot projects help change minds, even where culture isn't there yet.
Why should someone in, I don't know, Los Angeles or Mumbai care about what Paris did?
Air pollution in cities is a global health problem, not just Paris's. What Paris shows is that cities can act and see results if they commit. It's a roadmap. Cleaner air, fewer deaths, streets people want to live on. That matters everywhere.
It's a story about public health, climate, and how cities can change. Other places are watching, and maybe your city's next.
If Paris can turn busy roads into spaces that save lives, what's stopping your city? Thanks for tuning in.
That's all for today. We looked at Paris's cycling shift, how people got on board, what it meant for businesses, and what other cities can take from it. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.